right, we're back.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? Thanks again, Phil, for hooking this up.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for hosting us on Comics Misexplained YouTube and all that as well.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. We're streaming everywhere, YouTube and FAMRA. Thank you to our sponsors at FAMRA for letting me and Phil do this for y'all.
Yeah, appreciate the FAMRA family. This is always a great time to get to do this on the app. We're in outer space. Anybody that's watching out there on YouTube or anywhere else, y'all can get the FAMRA app in the iTunes store, and then you could see us teleport into one of these. There's new spaces. Let's go into the dinner date space. This will be nice.
That's awesome.
Very intimate.
You got to use your imagination like Hook.
I mean, this is nice and intimate. It feels good, but it keeps the angle of our video keeps turning so much. Sometimes I can't even see you or me. But let's ride this one out for a little bit because we're live everywhere else. So, what have you been doing, Jason? What's been on your radar?
I'm trying to get ready for the Wednesday show with Mike Harris.
Nice.
Doing our reboot, remake, recycle show where we watch an original and a remake. In this case, like this week, we're gonna watch both movies named Jack Frost. They have nothing to do with each other.
Okay, all right.
So so today for the first time, I watched the horror Jack Frost movie, which is hilarious. It's not supposed to be. And then I guess maybe the Michael Keaton one tomorrow, which I think I remember fairly enough. Where I don't know if I'll watch it because I remember it fine enough ago, so I don't know.
I don't think I've actually seen either one of those movies, but you were describing the Jack Frost movie to me, and it sounds extremely funny. But like you said, not on purpose, right? It's supposed to be like a legit horror movie.
Yeah. There's horror intent, and it's just very silly.
I think those are actually, I'm not a huge fan of horror, so those are probably some of my favorite horror movies, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I'll have to catch you guys with the interpretations of both.
Yeah, I'm actually just, we're excited to go back to the movies, and the next one's going to be Spider-Man. And then there's a lot of stuff that comes out just grouped together around this time period. Like, I think the same day as Spider-Man next week is the new Guillermo del Toro movie.
What's that one? I don't actually know that.
I forgot what it's called, man. And it seems like there's like no monsters in it. It's just, usually he has like kind of, creatures and stuff in his films, but this time it's supposed to be looks like a detective noir kind of story. So
I'm looking it up here. It says Nightmare Alley.
That's it.
Is what's coming next, and maybe I can find out more about it. Let's see. Of course, I'm gonna oh no, this will be perfect. This is the Fandango site, so let's see. Nope, whiffed it. There's no description. That's fine. Here it is. Okay. When charismatic but down on his luck, Stanley Carlisle, played by Bradley Cooper, endears himself to clairvoyant Xena, played by Toni Collette, and her has-been mentalist husband, Pete. I almost thought it said Pete Davidson, which would be really funny. But it's just a character named Pete, played by David Strathairn. So those two words back to back made me think that they were saying Pete Davidson for a second. At a traveling carnival, he crafts a golden ticket to success using this newly acquired knowledge to grift the wealthy elite of the 1940s New York society. So interesting.
Jeez.
I would check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like fun.
Michael in the chat says it's about a freak show.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Mike. You could have answered that question for us so much more quickly than Googling it.
that should be interesting. Yeah, I hope we do end up seeing like a little scary, weird creature in there. Yeah, he's always making his fantastical creatures, so that's kind of neat. That's neat. He switches it up.
Yeah, I think he's known. I mean, he's probably best known for his strange creatures. But hey, I mean, why not? I think he does a good job with it.
So that comes out at the same time as Spider-Man next week, and then weekend after is the new Matrix movie, Matrix Resurrections.
Wow,
yeah, and Kingsman, the prequel to the Kingsman series or franchise, I guess. So I'm gonna watch all those. Hopefully, I think we're gonna watch
all in one weekend.
No, I think this weekend is Spider-Man, and I think the one after we're probably gonna watch Matrix, and then hopefully Kingsman the weekend after that. And maybe Nightmare Alley if it's still around.
Nice. I always forget about, a lot of these movies that are like big tentpole movies like Dune and The Matrix. I've forgotten about both of them until they were like on HBO Max. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this now. Like,
Yeah. The PS5 put out like this little, I guess, Matrix demo. It's not a game. But
yeah, I
it's
saw
just
that.
kind of like
What is it called? The Matrix Reimagined or something like that? Reactivated, I think.
something like that. Yeah, but it's just a little demonstration of the new Unreal Engine 5, I guess. And so the graphics look amazing, and they question, of course, reality. And it's this guy that looks like Keanu Reeves, but it's not. It's a video game. It's not like actually him. And they got pretty close, and then it looks pretty good close up. But then when it zooms away and it starts walking, it looks a little wonky. You know what I mean? There's room for improvement. But they did really great showing off graphics in that, and it's a pretty pointless demo, or I forget. I think it's called an exhibition. I forgot what the hell it's called. It's not a game, so people got mad at it.
I was reading about it. It sounded
game.
like it was meant to be kind of like, a showcase of Unity 5 or whatever it is, and also a gaming experience, but I don't think they're trying to bill it as like a full developed game. Like maybe you just get to walk around in an environment or something like that.
Correct. Yeah, that's all you do in it, and it looks pretty good. The cars and stuff drive nice in the city. I mean, they're pretty wonky. It's a little challenging.
This is important. Mikkel in the chat says, "Is it true that Lawrence Fishburne / Morpheus canonically died in a Matrix MMORPG from like 2005?" Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Our homie
I think so.
John, shout out to John. He would be like all over this right now. Go ahead. Sorry.
Would know for sure. No, my bad. I think I remember John saying that he did die in that scene, but I think he might have came back later at the end of it somehow. Like it wasn't the end of him.
Really?
So
I haven't heard that.
It kind of leads into another step of research I got to find out after that. But I think John would know. We'll ask him.
Yeah, we got to get John back on the show for that one for sure. I mean, he is like the Matrix lore deep dive guy on the podcast. I feel like he was sending us so many Wikipedia articles to read. So I'm going to Google this real quick.
Star Wars as well with Lucas. Those two are crazy about Star Wars.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like they could do a whole. I think they could do a whole Star Wars spin-off of this show, which is, honestly, for everybody watching out there, we've been trying to reformulate this podcast to be a little more of an umbrella for all the pop culture type stuff, mainly on the sci-fi fantasy side of things. So if you guys have any, ideas you want to float our way, and, maybe we can send you I have so many records and comics I could send, like, as a thank you to anybody that pitches us a good idea for the show, because Comics Misexplained has been great, but I think we want to open it up a little bit, kind of rebrand. Yeah. So,
no doubt, yeah. So, if you have a hint for a name out there for like what we could call it or whatever, maybe suggest it. Maybe we'll take it upon acquisition. But,
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
It's so hard to choose a name. Every time it's like a question, you're like, oh man, nothing works. Nothing's good enough.
Yeah, because you don't want to block yourself into like one thing, and there's just so much entertainment to talk about and so many different formats.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
entertainment. Yeah.
Should we talk about some of our show note items, namely being, first there was, let's just dig into this. This is a news item that came out where Kevin Feige was doing interviews for, is he doing them for Hawkeye right now? Probably.
I think so. Yeah.
I think this is where this came out because of the talk of Kingpin being in Hawkeye. But yeah, somebody was, kind of drilling him about Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and he says that, when, wherever that may be, that Daredevil comes back in the MCU, that it would be played by Charlie Cox. It was a very like loosey-goosey kind of, dodging the question type answer, but it's still a pretty large bit of news, unless he's just completely like,
trolling everyone.
Yeah, being like willfully, not lying about it, but also not being truthful about it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Like there's no plans for Daredevil in the near future. And he's just saying that. And like, yeah, if we do ever have that, then he will be it. We're never going to have that.
Yeah. I mean,
but I don't know. I think he's kind of hiding stuff more than that. I think there is plans to have Daredevil in the near future. I'm very excited for it. I'm here for it, man. I love Daredevil. I love those Netflix shows. I thought they're a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, it's really funny. I mean, I don't want to rehash the whole show we did last week, but to me, the timing was hilarious. We talked about this in our group chat that like Jason and I spent a lot of time talking about the Daredevil series because of the whole Kingpin tease, and then literally the next day after we did the show, this was the news that came out. So this is like a week old news, but it's definitely relevant and just
We're out of the game sometimes like that, you know.
Well, like I was saying, Kevin Feige confirmed is listens to Comics Misexplained. Like he heard us talking about it, and he was like, "All right, well, I guess I gotta give them something, right? I mean, they're on to me."
He's gonna have his snipers on call. We gotta watch out, man.
Yeah, we know Kevin Feige's got shooters. That's one thing that this podcast has confirmed.
I love when this one reporter asked like Haley Steinfeld about the appearance of the new Black Widow in the Hawkeye show. And she was looking around her and like I have no idea what you're talking about. That's happening. Okay.
Oh, well, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, she denied that as well. But we saw it this
right,
this
of course,
episode, which is fantastic. So, but it's always fun to see them like panic in like that moment. When they're asked about anything they really shouldn't talk about.
I thought that I've seen a screenshot of that it was probably subtitled wrongly or memed wrongly, but it said when somebody asked about the Young Avengers, and it was the picture of like Feige looking like, sorry, I keep hitting my goddamn mic stand. I got to get my shit together tonight. Anyway, yeah. So do you think that's what it was? Did you remember it differently, or was it?
Maybe it could be the exact same thing. And I'm
all right, cool. Well,
Mandela affecting it.
We'll follow up on that, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy or just seeing a derivative of it, perhaps. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna give a shout out to what's her name, Florence Hugh, because she spoiled her appearance on the show for me because my wife follows her. Because, she knows her for much more other stuff. Like, what was the movie they remade, Little Women or something? Or, and she's in that. And I guess my wife has been following her for a while. And so she posted pictures from Hawkeye, like she's back or something. She's returned. And she sent it to me. And I don't think Lee even realized, like, what the picture was of. Because, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, spoilers. Like, come on, we haven't seen it yet, And she's like, what do you mean? And I don't think it's like a spoiler. I'm like, no, this is from Hawkeye. Look in the background. There's Hawkeye. Like, her picture had Hawkeye, like, holding his shoulder or something in the background. It wasn't, like, super obvious, but, like, you if you watch Hawkeye, you would probably know what this picture was from. So
right, yeah. Did you feel that the guest appearance? We heard the rumor there was going to be a big guest appearance this episode. And I was guessing, I mean, not guessing, just it was confirmed that the new Black Widow, Florence Pugh, would be in the Hawkeye show, but when and where. And so when they said there's a big guest spot this episode, I'm like, it's going to be her. Like, it's got to be. People were like, it's got to be Kingpin. It's going to be Kingpin. I'm like, nah, we still got to get Black Widow. And sure enough, so.
Well, do you think that's going to pay off as more, appearances with her in the show, or do you think it'll just be like?
So.
Okay,
that's it, and then see you later. Maybe no. I think next episode I expect to see Eileen, maybe possibly.
Interesting.
Like whatever the role she played. She's like the bad guy Nick Fury kind of. I forgot her character.
Yeah. You're talking about. Gosh, every time we're on the show. Yeah. Julia Louis Dreyfus. Thank you. I should always have Wikipedia open at all times because I feel like when we're hosting the show, every person's name disappears from my brain.
That's both of us, though. It's not just you; it's like me as well. I'm like, yeah, that person with the name that I don't know and I cannot think of, but I will think of at any time.
Well, speaking of which, having the Wikipedia open, I was trying to see if Morpheus is actually dead. And the only things that I see, just without reading a full article or something, says. He dies from gunshot wounds. It does not have any follow-up on that. So
bullets, my only weakness.
Especially in the Matrix, right? I mean, as we all know.
Yeah, I wish you had to say "not like this" every time before you die.
Not like this. Not like this, Jason. Well, I don't want to go too deep down the Florence Hugh tangent there because there's so much more to talk about on that episode.
Are you looking for? I'm looking forward to the further relationship between the new Hawkeye and the new Black Widow. because the
Yeah.
last two were best friends, and so like I really would like to see them interact once they're on a friendly basis in the future and have them be like best friends. You know, I think
Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
I do think they spend a lot of time trying to play up some similarities in this episode. Like I
Yeah,
read how, even though Black Widow kicked her off the roof, the new Hawkeye, she like tied a rope around her, so it was like a callback to the in-game scene where Nat dies, and they both jump off the cliff, but she ties the rope around Clint. And then there was another one. Oh, geez, I just spaced it. But yeah, there's another similarity there as well between the characters, which is another callback. And I just think, I'll give so many shout outs to Haley Stanfield because I think she's hilarious to watch, and it helps open up the demographic, like the style of humor for the Marvel universe. There's more ways to go with it with her versus like just a bunch of old middle-aged dudes. Like you can only do so much.
yeah. And apparently they said Jeremy Renner isn't going anywhere. And I guess if you look at the thumbnail for the show, they're in new costumes. Their costumes kind of match a little bit,
Yeah.
They're different. So Hawkeye's going to have his own professional costume now, and this is going to be the new look for who knows how long. I think this is the best thing he has going for him. So why would he not, sign on for more Hawkeye movies? Like, I don't know.
Good
I think
point.
he's all in. I think he's all in. So we're going to see him for a while.
I think it's funny that they revealed the costumes since the get-go. I mean, I can't remember, but I know that I've seen it on the teaser for a long time. And it was just this episode that they really kind of started that thread of that storyline, right? Which is the LARPers, which we should talk more about that because we had talked about how some of these characters are neglected from the comic book run because it's not the same environment. They don't live in an apartment building together like they do in the comics. But it did feel like they tried to create that where now that he's staying at the aunt's house in that apartment building, and then now the LARPers are just kind of like camped out there.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was her place, but I think it was one of the LARPers' place.
Oh, okay.
I think it was their building because in the background you had like old school video game systems, like
my bad.
GameCube, Xbox, and things like that, like in the background. So I think it was like one of their places. I don't think that old lady be playing those games. She could be a gamer, She could
hey
be like,
man, come on,
Elon
don't
Musk,
be ageist. We can all be.
be.
Well, my bad. Thank you for clarifying that. But I did, I guess, to my point, feel like maybe because they have this new place they can go to for getting the trick arrows, and the LARPers are cool with them, and Grills is maybe cooking again in this show versus I don't know. I at least felt there was some callbacks to that setup, as well as the boomerang arrows. Like you talked about that last episode, how with the trick arrow sequence in the comics, the boomerang arrow was the joke. And now they didn't leave that out. It came back this episode.
I was surprised it come back. Yeah, I did not expect to come back at the boomerang arrow mention at all. Like I thought we had our moment with the trick arrows. You're not going to hear her talk about them ever again. Boom, next episode. What a delight. My favorite trick arrow, the boomerang. Fantastic. So that's cool. Damn, I forgot what I was going to say earlier. Oh, we got a new environment here. We're on the lily pad.
Yeah, switching it up over here on Famera. If you guys are checking Famera, this is a new space again. This is the meditation space. I love this one. But no, I did feel like the scene. Say that again.
It's got like light bugs on there floating around.
Oh yeah, it does. Nice. They just kind of flit in and out sometimes.
That's real peaceful. I like that a lot.
Very peaceful. One of my favorites. This one is new, but I remember seeing it in the staging version of the app like months ago. So
you guys make ripples, and I wish if you tap it, it would make a ripple around your guy. That'd be really cool.
That's a good. We need to remember that. We'll send that to the developers.
Because the other ones, like your guys can spin around and stuff. Do little dances, and your avatar can do a lot of little fun little interactions on the app. So that'd be a fun little thing, a little addition there.
Well, I think this space would also be great for like meditations. Like literally, somebody could do a guided meditation, and then you don't even have to do anything on the app. You just listen to their soothing voice. You can
host yoga classes on here.
Perhaps. Yeah. To get back to Hawkeye, I was gonna say I thought that scene was. I really enjoyed the writing and the bickering between Clint and Kate. I thought that was really a fun setup with the boomerang arrows thing.
Yes, absolutely.
He got a chance to just be like, yeah, they're coming back to you. Like, that's not a good idea. I don't know how that worked in the comic series though.
Yeah, in the comic, it saved them at like the last second. It was like one boomerang arrow. So the last arrow was a boomerang arrow, the one she joked about earlier, and she shot it up. Of course, that had this guy that Tracksuit Dracula had the guy Hawkeye hostage, Clint Barton, and so she shot her arrow, and the Russian dude's making fun of her. Oh, you missed, bro, or whatever, and then it comes back around and it knocks him out, and they get away. So and he's like boomerang arrow. So pretty cool, pretty funny.
What is the moving company is that from the comics as well?
I don't think so. Trust a Bro moving company. It might be because I think they did have a moving company in there. Nah, I don't know, man. Because I definitely see them I remember them in a truck, I think. But
let's see.
I think they're just moving goods. I don't think they had a Trust a Bro company.
I think that's very funny. Then, yeah, I just see it from the show. I don't see it in the.
There could have been in the further episodes that I didn't read yet. So who knows? It could be there.
Wow, somebody's already made T-shirts of that. Of course they have, and it's not Marvel. It's some random.
I think we need some Thanos was right merch in the store. maybe a Thanos was
Thanos?
right, and him twerking on the other side.
Yeah.
Put those together on a shirt.
Wow, amazing. I don't think who would sell that shirt is my question.
Yeah, us, I guess.
I'm gonna check out the spaces on Famera again. Let's see what else is going on here.
Yeah.
Let's go to the waterfall. This looks like fun.
BTLC.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's
nice. This is nice. Yeah.
And we're like for real meditating now.
I love this.
Sweet. All right, so just looking at the show notes, anything else that comes to mind about Hawkeye? Obviously, we had Florence Hughes. We started to talk about that. She's back as the new. Do we call her Black Widow? Is that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless people want to say White Widow, if she continues to wear the white costume, but.
She was definitely all in black in this episode. And do you think she will become like a main character in this series, or do you think she'll just have another cameo, or do you think it's like we're going to see her till the conclusion?
I think we'll see her to the conclusion every episode.
Hell yeah.
You got to wrap up her stuff, and you don't have to. I guess they could just stretch that out for however long
I thought that was possible.
Right. Yeah. I was hoping that this episode, she'd figure out, she's being misguided, but I don't think it's going to happen. And same thing with Echo. We got to have that same kind of resolution with her, but we know she has her own show, so they could very well just do her arc in that whole entire show. But I love the idea that Echo might be a name placeholder for Daredevil season 4. That was like a fun little rumor, just because I guess back when they first named Captain America: Civil War, it was called Serpent Supreme, I think, or Serpent Supremacy. And then, so they announced that name, I think, at the beginning of the show. Then at the end of it, after the whole entire con was over, they're like, you know what? That's a really dumb name. We're actually getting Civil War. People are like, what?
I remember that. Was there even a logo
funny.
for the Serpent Supremacy?
Yeah. You can find it online. I think it's on one of those graphs or charts. There, the tree branch of the timeline.
Let's see if we can find it. Serpent Supremacy.
Yeah, Supremacy.
So what was that supposed to be teasing? Like, Captain America as a Hydra or something like that?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think it's a good. I think mysterious thing would get people talking. Are we going to see a Hydra Cap? Yeah, I think that was a good part of it. Some good marketing there.
We're gonna have to follow up on this thread. I can't. Okay. Nothing's coming up on Google, which means there's something. Maybe let's see if I can find like what was the other name of Civil War.
Yeah. There you go. But I thought that's a fun thing, and I don't think that's going to happen for the Echo show. I wish they would say, oh, guess what? This show is actually called Daredevil season 4. But I think that would kind of be a little disrespectful to Echo. Getting her own show. A female minority. Missing a limb. And be like, oh, just kidding. We actually have a show with another white guy, Daredevil. Your favorite white guy that punches people in the streets. So it's like I don't think they'll do that. But it's a fun theory.
I didn't think about it that way until you said it. And then when you do say it, it's like, it is a fun theory, but it's also maybe nice that if there is going to be another Daredevil thing, it won't be, shoehorned into somebody else's thing. Like when the time's right, let it happen. But yeah, let Echo have her show. Obviously, I think what we were talking about before is, or I'm sorry, on the last episode was just how Marvel is really good at doing a lot with its like littlest known characters. So Echo is a great example of that. Like I definitely never heard of Echo myself in my comic collecting time.
I want to say she came out like in like mid or early 2000s, so like not that long ago. She's like a reasonably new character. And I want to say David Mack created her, and I think maybe I want to say Brian Michael Bendis, but I don't think it was. I think it was David Mack and someone else. But yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, great idea, and that's really cool. She's getting her own show, and I hope that we see her story devolve in there, and not so much like I guess Daredevil, because people were like, oh, it's actually a way they can shoe in the Daredevil characters, and it's going to be kind of a Daredevil show, not in name though. That was the first one before they said it's actually Daredevil season 4. So they started off, a little smaller expectations before they blew it up themselves. But but yeah, I mean, hopefully, because that would, like you said, it would take away from her show. Her as a character. If you turn it into a Daredevil show, like, it wouldn't be right. So.
Well, I would say the thing that Disney Plus is proving with these shows is that they can make a series based on any lesser known character or less featured character, like for instance Loki. I mean, obviously he's had a place in so many Marvel movies, but he's kind of a supporting character beyond being like the main villain in Avengers. That's a big deal, but everything else has kind of got him just like hanging out. And then they like take a show like his or any of these Disney Plus characters and add so much to it, from the underlying bed of what you think this show is going to be about. So I mean, Echo has so much potential. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up and think that we're going to see Daredevil, but if we do, that would be really cool. That would be really, I mean, I had not even heard that this was a show in development. It was around the same time as the like Agatha Harkness show was announced.
That's right.
So to me, all this is very weird. Like, have they just been developing it for that long?
So soon. Right.
Or have they just made a decision because of something popular, worked?
I think that they recorded the stuff and made it a long time ago. Like they've been ahead of the schedule for a long time because of COVID. Like the Hawkeye show was originally supposed to air like last summer, and they postponed it until further down the line. Of course, now it's a Christmas show and Christmas, which is nice.
Yeah, I didn't know it was delayed like that. I mean, because it feels by design like it was going to be a Christmas show.
It does, yeah, which is way better than doing it in summer. Like, it's charming Christmas in July or whatever, but it's like, come on, like, you gotta have Christmas on Christmas. That's where the real ratings are,
Well,
you're happy, yeah.
I think it's interesting because you can theme a movie or a show around Christmas, and so you get the idea that it becomes like a Christmas tradition or something that you could watch it.
Watch something, yeah.
But I don't feel like that would happen if you watched it in July. You would just feel like, oh, okay, they made it in Christmas or holiday time. But now, like literally, as I'm watching it, every day, it's like between the shows, I've put up our Christmas tree, I've hung the lights on the house, so it's like kind of it's now ingraining itself. Like, I don't know if I would rewatch it yet. I would say most Marvel stuff doesn't have rewatchability for me.
I agree. Yeah. I think I maybe would rewatch Loki because there's season 2 coming up. So to get a refresher, what the hell happened, and get all those details in my brain to experience the new season. So I might rewatch Loki, but all the rest, yes, I agree. I don't have any desire to watch those episodes ever again.
No. So, and even a lot of most of the movies I don't like. I'll put them on already with a nostalgic feeling, and there's probably only 2 or 3 that I'll get really hooked into again.
Winter Soldier for me. I would rewatch Winter Soldier anytime it's on. I will watch. If it's on TV, Winter Soldier, I'll watch it. Absolutely, I love Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I do feel like the Captain America movies have had the most rewatchability for me because the first one was a sleeper for me. I didn't watch it for a long time after it came out in theaters, and the first time I watched it on DVD, I was like, wow, that was surprisingly good. And then, yes, I think that Winter Soldier is probably at the top of the list of most people's MCU movies. Yeah. But even Civil War, like, it really feels like it just, I don't know, it's one of the like more explosive movies in the series. But I don't know if I've tried to...
First time we saw Spider-Man. Yeah, they just brought him out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think I saw that several times in the theater is the thing. Maybe I haven't rewatched it since then, but I think I actually saw it maybe 3 times in theaters when it came
Wow.
out. Because it was just so hyped up, you know, to have Spider-Man. Like, you're just like, there it is, you know. But there's so much else, like Ant-Man, and he goes giant mode, and there's just a lot of good moments.
Sure, yeah. Do you think in the new Spider-Man we're gonna have like who do you think we're gonna see? Or do you think God, I'm trying to decide like how far they're gonna go with all these appearances. I like kind of like the memes that are getting made now. Like there's one where it had I think it was just Sonic 2, a screenshot from that in the trailer. So it has Sonic and, you know, the other dude, his ride-along main real-life actor guy that was Cyclops in the X-Men movie. You know, they're on a canoe. And he
Alex
said, like,
Maxton or something like that.
something like that. Yeah, I forgot that dude's name, but, you know, he's like, yeah, Jean Grey killed me over there. You know,
I
and,
saw that. Yeah, they're sitting on a lake.
yeah, you know, it's like that's like the multiverse. That's like Spider-Man, No Far From Home. I should have labeled that, you know, because it's going to be the portal to everything. Technically, you know, people like making their jokes about that. I love that. That's fun.
I hadn't heard that yet, but it makes perfect sense because you're crossing over. Like, if it does, you know, reveal to be what we all think it's going to be, then it's crossing over 2 or 3 different universes, you know, cinematic universes in one movie. So why stop there?
It's going to be the fork knife of movies, right? Just
nice.
tons of properties all in one film. It's like Ready Player One all over again, but you know, it's like put a Spider-Man on there.
I feel like at that point, I mean, it's just Spider-Man is just setting up for them just being like, fuck it, and just like pulling the cork out of the multiverse, you know, bathtub, and just
and Fast and Furious, and
it'll probably be good. I mean, I feel like the Marvel universe might actually need that, you know. I don't know.
What if they made like a Marvel vs. Capcom game, but it was like Marvel vs. Fast and Furious? You know, who would you put against each other? You know, I think maybe Vin Diesel versus Juggernaut. You know, see how far they go with that.
I was gonna make a bad joke that I'm not gonna make, but I don't know. I gotta think. I haven't really watched the Fast and Furious movies. I would probably say The Rock versus Thanos. That would be fun. Thanos' ass cheeks, you know.
The Rock versus Baby Groot.
Baby.
It's like, you ever see those memes where it's like a baby frog in someone's hand? It says, "Would you accept $5 million if they told you to throw this at the wall?" You know, like,
no.
It's like, yeah, it's like, no, don't ask these questions.
Oh man, that's hard. No, I haven't seen that one in particular, so now I'm going to be haunted by that all night. Thanks, Jason.
That's true curse material. I'm sorry, everybody. You know, but you know, we're hanging out on our Animal Crossing stage in Famra. It does remind me of Animal Crossing, where you get the little good piece of land, you got the little fishing area, the rivers. You know, catch different fish in there. That's nice, man. I really like what they did with the art in this.
Yeah, I definitely think that these new designs are nice. They've been updated since I've last seen them. So, should we try one more? Should we teleport?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, if anyone wants to know, once again, what we're talking about, you know, check out the Famra app. It is free to download, and if you need a code, use the code AmethystGoat. Oh, we're underwater.
Undersea, yeah. Do you remember this is one of the first shows I did was Undersea with you were there, right?
Yeah, it didn't have a giant like octopus thing or something like crawling on top or walking on top of the whole entire set.
I don't remember. I don't remember that, but I believe you. We have video, so we can go back and reference it. I guess.
It's true. So this is the new underwater ocean setting.
Brand new.
I like it.
I love it.
That's dope.
Well, anything else that stands out to you about Hawkeye?
God. Yeah.
These last 2 episodes have been fairly short, so I feel like now that we've gotten halfway through the season, they're probably going to backload it. You know, I don't think any of them will be a full hour, but I do feel like the second half will be a little meatier now.
We only have 2 episodes left, right?
Oh, is it only 6 episodes? I thought it was 8. My bad. Wow.
Yeah. I could be wrong in that, but I'm pretty sure there's only 2 more episodes left.
But that would make sense.
Nice.
Like pulling in Black Widow at this point makes a lot more sense if it's like this, you know, more than halfway done now.
Yeah, which is why I think we'll see the next 2 episodes. There's enough room there, you know. But I mean, they could have just not had enough time and just kind of shoehorned her in, you know, just so that they come face to face, you know. What do you think that what's up with that watch, man? The Avengers base watch.
Thank you for asking. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. The first thing that came to mind for me, of course, was like I feel like Tony has had some Iron Man watch-based technology, but that doesn't make sense because everybody knows who Iron Man is.
Do you think it's something to do with Clint's wife? She speaks Russian. He talked about their past. Do you think they were like partners or homies earlier? They're on the same team maybe in the past. Is she like Black Canary secretly?
Whoa.
A retired Black Canary. I just some theories I have. I don't know.
Have you read anything about this, or did this just come to your mind when you were?
No. Because she's so advanced. She's not your normal housewife. She speaks Russian. She knows all these codes. She has connects. She had these connections to like different like agencies to help find people and stuff like that.
Okay.
So she's connected. You know what I mean? She has contacts.
Well,
So what
I
is
think
her
Black Canary is the
type?
DC character, though, right?
No, I think Hawkeye dated Black Canary,
Excuse
or
me.
maybe got married to Black Canary.
Oh, okay.
No, you're right. It's a Green
I just
Arrow
know
and
her
Black
from
Canary,
like
yeah.
the Arrowverse
Yeah.
stuff.
Right, Green Arrow and Black Canary are DC, but maybe the one in Hawkeye is called something else. I could be wrong. I thought it was Black Canary, but
Let's
maybe
see if we
she's
can
called
find
something
any
else.
other
Yeah,
Black
thank you.
Widow like legacy characters. Maybe we'll have like a list of. But that's interesting. I didn't suspect anything like that, and I didn't think that the Iron Man explanation doesn't make sense. But it's like they're talking about somebody's cover would be blown if this watch is found. And
Yeah. What was your initial thought upon that? Mine was Captain America.
really, wow.
Yeah, that's too big. I don't think that's.
I'll be honest. It took a little while for me to pick up on the signal. We should already know what this watch is about. Like I just thought it was a reference that I was missing. That I'll remember when it's relevant. But
Mockingbird was the name I was thinking of. I'm sorry, Mockingbird.
oh, Mockingbird. Okay, hell yeah. Let's see. Let's pause for a moment. It looks like my internet has like started to crap out. So here, let me drop something in the chat. Sorry, viewers. Internet is going slow for the moment.
It's okay. Got a sleepy pup on the lap.
Sleepy
Pup in my
pup.
lap. Pup in my lap. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let the internet kind of catch up. This has happened to me on other shows before, and yeah, there we go. All right, everybody watching out there on YouTube and Wonderful World, thank you for hanging with us. We had a little internet chug for a moment. It seems like we're back though. So,
We're back. Yeah.
Mockingbird. You think it could be Mockingbird?
That'd be cool. I think it'd be neat to have her be Mockingbird, and not so much that we'll see her in action in the future. She can just be retired and then maybe pass on the mantle in the future, and you get a young Mockingbird.
Right, like it's just in the lore. Like that's how they. Interesting.
Here's another character. Yeah. Here's some merch. Here's some Funko Pops. Like, yeah. You like that idea? Yeah, sure. Here's some stuff you can buy.
Well,
This
when I
seems
went to
like
go look up
he's
Mockingbird, I have no idea the legitimacy of this site. Fandom Wire. Have you heard of this?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it may not be accurate. This is from a long time ago, but it says Disney Plus Hawkeye recasting Mockingbird. So I'm trying to find out if this is, it feels like that there should be a lot more substance there. This Mockingbird character that will appear in the upcoming Hawkeye series will most likely be different from the because there was a character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that was Mockingbird. I remember that.
Yes, me too. I never saw that show, but someone I think I saw her talked about on a different show that talked about that character, and they showed her from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's too bad that's not canon. They feel like they put so much work into
I
that.
think it is
storyline.
Actually good that it's not canon. I personally didn't feel
I heard
like
most of it's bad. Yeah. I tried getting through one episode, and I didn't. And I was like, I'll come back to this later, and never did.
I watched several episodes like when it was airing, and I enjoyed it for what it was, but at a certain point it just lost me. I mean, it's it's like with the other CW shows, the network shows, they are just required to do so many episodes, and it feels like on a show like what we're talking about on Disney Plus, if they had that long of a run, then you would think they would have a budget to support it. I don't know. Maybe that's the trade-off, is that the more episodes you have, the lower your budget is, and you have to make these long-ass bunch of, not very compelling episodes. Whereas if you do 6, it's like, okay, well, we can get a lot of stuff in these. We'll get the cameos, we'll get all the CGI for every episode, and I don't know. I mean, you would like to think that they could do eventually one day invest in a show that's long and good.
Yeah, no doubt. I
Maybe
mean,
that's
you figure that'd be
optimistic.
the main goal, but yeah, it might be too optimistic, right? I mean, do you think when do you think it's going to happen where we see stuff that happens in the movies and be like, oh, you actually have to watch the shows to understand what's following along in the movies? Do you think they'll ever do that, or do you think we'll only see just the stuff you need to see in the movie?
That's a really good question. I think I actually would have to go back and kind of consider if that's already true or not. I can't decide if
Mm.
that is actually the case or not.
So like WandaVision kind of, end with her leaving. I guess to explain Agatha Harkness, you'd have to watch that. Yeah,
Like if
yeah. I
Agatha
mean,
showed up in the movies.
right. And you know what? We have White Vision now, so you kind of have to watch that to understand where White Vision comes from.
But do you
You
think
know,
any of that will be in the movies? Like, I think people have teased Agatha is going to be in the Multiverse of Madness. Is that true?
that'd be fun. That's a good idea. Why not include her? If she's fully fleshed out a little further, more. Before that happens. I mean, we're probably going to get the Doctor Strange maybe before the new the show, right?
Oh, yeah, I feel like
That'd be,
that's
that'd be interesting if they came out like a little month before, But yeah, I'm sure it seems like it's announced too soon to come out around that same time. It's got
yeah,
ready for the down the line.
yeah. Unless they have so much in a backlog or something. But yeah, it seems like the Agatha show is so new. But that would explain how Agatha wouldn't be in the Doctor Strange movie at all. Is that okay? Well, she's gonna have her own show, so we don't have to like shoehorn her into this movie.
Right.
But I did
Yeah.
think that they kind of teased the idea that um, she would be like a guide for Wanda. So maybe that's when that happens.
For sure. Yeah. It's funny they have to deal with White Vision now in the future and where he came from. And that will be, always connected to the show unless they just keep it in a show, which I don't think that they would. I think he's going to pop up in a bigger movie later on down the line. And it makes me wonder, they're saying they're going to make Young Avengers, the whole entire new crew. I think we talked about it last week where we said they're probably just going to call it New Avengers or just Avengers,
Yeah, because
for
then
a
you could have a
reboot.
White Vision on the team, and you could have who knows? I mean, it
Yeah.
could, Shang-Chi is who you think of as the very prime example of what the new Avengers will look like, right? But they
Yeah.
probably won't even call it New Avengers, right? They'll probably just have an Avengers movie with the new lineup, right? And maybe
Yeah.
all these
Right.
young kids are part of that.
Yeah, because you don't want to call it Young Avengers. That means like the old ones are old, and that's kind of rude calling them old. They're not new old. They're not old hotness. They're still relevant. People still love them more so than the new ones. So that might be a smarter idea just to make it just a regular Avengers or New Avengers and not Young Avengers.
Yeah, I don't even
Um,
think of it as like offending anybody. It's just they want to they don't want to dilute the brand, right? Which is the brand
right.
is Avengers. Avengers something, like it can have a subtitle. So it could be Avengers the Next Generation with Captain
Yeah,
Picard or with Professor X as Jean-Luc Picard there.
for sure, man. Man, there's something to my tongue before previously. It dealt with different timelines and stuff coming up. Fortunately, I can't remember. All right, I want to make sure we're going still good. Okay. Yeah. What do you think about the next show we're getting is Secret Invasion? That's what it was. That's what I was
The
thinking
next
of.
show after
Right?
Hawkeye is Secret
So
Invasion.
is that show or Ms. Marvel is coming next? Because do you think
Wow.
we're going to see any stuff hinted at for Secret Invasion thus far in these past shows that could be a part of Secret Invasion?
That that timeline I can't confirm. I'm gonna try to look it up as we keep speaking, but
Yeah.
that would be really surprising to me. Like I don't feel like there's been really anything leading up to Secret Invasion beyond Captain Marvel, with the
What if, like,
scroll.
all of a sudden, the Black Widow that confronted them tonight, or an Echo during at some period was not themselves, but an actual scroll doing something for a scene that would assume was that character, whether it be Black Widow or Echo, but it was actually a scroll, and you'll find out later upon that why they did that.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
think,
what I think that's what most people are looking forward to about Secret Invasion is just how much, how big do they want to go as far as the chance to retcon anything, right? Like they could change the entire MCU with Secret Invasion if they want to, which is one reason it's kind of hard to even get excited about that show is because it feels almost too early in the MCU or too late, maybe is a better way of putting it. It's like it could be so big that I don't know if they have the gumption to like pull it off that way. Like I don't know if they have the, maybe not the gumption. They don't have the investment in that side of the Marvel Comics narrative. Why would they do that? Because there's so many other aspects of that story missing.
The greatest part about Secret Invasion comic book series was that it was as a retcon. You can change decisions in the past that you might have regretted,
right,
or have a bigger use for them in the future. And so far in the MCU, everyone's kind of more involved in it. I would say in more recent years than the past, but I could be wrong in making that assumption. But people that have these events and different meanings for different things happening in the films that might mean something to them, so they might get upset if something changes. You have to be really careful about what you pick.
For sure.
If you happen to want to retcon or change things. So this could fly back in the face of people. People could be really mad about changes that are made. But yeah, maybe they're just going to keep it to its own little world, Don't connect Secret Invasion with these past scenes of the MCU history or TV shows.
Well, let me interject. I got the dates here for the upcoming shows, and maybe this will make more sense of it, but it looks like the next show is going to be Miss Marvel in summer next year. Then the next show after that will be She-Hulk, and there's not a date for that. It just says 2022. And well, at least according to this guide that I'm looking at, there's other ones teased. Maybe the problem is they just haven't pinned a date, for a lot of this stuff, and so they can't put it on the actual timeline. But yes, Secret Invasion isn't even on this short list, so I'm hoping that means it comes down later on down the line, so they can actually connect, set up some more dots to connect for that whole thing.
Yeah, it's a useful tool to throw away so early. You know what I mean? Like, you can use this down the road. I mean, I guess you could make a Secret Invasion season 2 and a Wild Way. They build maybe an audience with the first one, see if it follows before you decide to do that. But, I guess, once again, you can change what they did wrong in the past. What would they do wrong in the past? Maybe, like, Inhumans, but that's not really connected. You know what I mean?
No, the Inhumans isn't canon. I mean, that guy, I didn't watch it, so I'm not going to even talk shit because I didn't watch it. But, like, my common knowledge is that it's terrible.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life, and I had to watch it for the continuity,
So it is canon? Like, out. You don't...
It's as canon as, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I guess. And
okay, well, I was going to say, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Way more connectivity. Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has way more connectivity, you know what I mean?
Well, there's way more connectivity, but I do think that it's just a matter of, like, the studios drawing the line and stuff, right? Yeah. Which is, like, I don't think they call this within the Marvel, cinematic wheelhouse at this point.
I mean, I think I might have mentioned it last week, but it's like Inhumans was meant to be a TV show, or meant to be a movie, and then they're like, no, let's just make it a TV show. And then they're like, okay, I think they showed the first episode in the IMAX, and I wanted to go, and then I missed it and saw it like a couple days later on like an app or whatever. I'm like, wow, this is awful. I'm so glad I didn't go see that in a theater, in an IMAX. And then, I continued to watch the rest, and it was just awful. So, but, now that they're not in the world, technically, I guess, in the MCU, we talked about this last week, what's Miss Marvel going to do? Because she's an Inhuman. And so are they going to make her mutant, or are they going to make her she fell into a chemical or something? What are they going to do? Are they going to change her power to not be stretchy like Mr. Fantastic?
It's a great question. It's a huge question because really all that is wrapped up in the fact that Marvel didn't own the rights to all that in the movies. And so the comics were trying to like forge ahead, almost like, Scorched Earth style. Like they just left the X-Men behind. They weren't going to do mutants. They were like doubling down on Inhumans because that was their route to, to tell those stories. Instead of mutants, they were Inhumans. And I think it's funny now. I think, Miss Marvel's caught in the middle. I think they will retcon her into something like a mutant, maybe. No, I mean, I'm interested to see the show because the show will say a lot. If she's an Inhuman in the show, or if they just don't even explain it as any sort of like, caste system style of what kind of superhero you are. It's just that she's got powers because she got bit by a rubbery spider or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my point is just that, the Inhumans was a thing because they didn't have the X-Men. The Inhuman show was even a thing at all because they couldn't do mutants, And like I feel like the Inhumans suffered as a show because they were really aggressively moving on the Fox stuff, and waiting to see what happened. And as soon as they got it all back, I feel like they were like, just threw it all to the ground. Like, we don't
Yeah.
need Inhumans anymore.
That's a meme with the skeleton at the bottom of the pool, just Inhumans over his chest. Um,
We got to make
and,
that
yeah.
after the show. That's a good one.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, it's kind of I don't know. A lot of Inhumans has their fan base, but yeah, you're right. They made that just for New Mutants. Their new versions of mutants, and they did what they could because they didn't have the X-Men license, and that's cool. They got it back, and you're right. I think they did a 180 once they got the rights. Like, yes, we got Fox. We're gonna do X-Men properly. There's a new Wolverine video game coming out. It makes you wonder. I would like to see like a Wolverine show before an X-Men show, and maybe show him meet up with the X-Men later down the road after they're established. You gotta earn your Wolverine to get him. In the show. Maybe they can cross paths in some episodes or something. Or almost cross paths. There's a lot you can do, but yeah, I'd like to see a Wolverine show before an X-Men one or a movie. I mean, I think the main goal is to get an X-Men movie, but I'm sure that's like 10 years down the line. I don't know. I don't see them doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they just had too many, plates spinning to really interject the X-Men anytime soon, only because they know when they do it, it's going to be just the biggest cash cow. I mean, like... if you do the X-Men right, if you do the X-Men at all, it's like a big money maker. But if you do it really, really well, it's like, I mean, it feels to me it would be more lucrative than the Avengers, right? Like,
I agree. Yeah, I think that's why they're making X-Men '97, the new animated show, to continue off from where the old one left off. I mean, you're not seeing a new Spider-Man cartoon pop up, with the same OG people that made it. You're seeing a new X-Men
right.
one. People watch that X-Men show. That show's responsible for like people's loves in comic books and getting them into those characters. The show is so important, so has a lot of high hopes ahead for it. But yeah, I think we're going to see that X-Men movie. That's their new goal. It would be bigger than Avengers, no doubt.
Yeah, I do think that they know that this property, now that it's under, Kevin Feige's studio house, that it will be, if, when they do it right. Well, I was going to say if they do it right, but I really do think they will do it right, and it'll be... Now that I think about it, it's really cool because it's coming like, full circle for Kevin Feige to go from the first X-Men movie that definitely was, something that kicked off the superhero craze. I don't want to discount Superman and
Right.
Batman and Spider-Man. All those things led up to that, but you feel like X-Men is really when it gave the chance for an ensemble type show, which is then you get Avengers or, I mean, I'm jumping the shark on that, but still, I think the X-Men, my point is that, it could have been, it should be bigger than all of that stuff that's come before when it's done this way.
Yeah, I think it has the biggest expectation. I hope they don't do the Phoenix Saga again. If they do the Phoenix Saga, maybe make it 3 films and not 1, so you can fit like everything in there. That's way too much. That's asking way too much for an audience.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do for the new X-Men? Where's it going to start? Would you start it with the original OG crew from like X-Men #1 or giant size X-Men #1? Have like old ass Beast with a monkey looking Beast, and Archangel, Storm, maybe the original team. That'd be a different take on it. The past have just been like Mystique movies or like Wolverine movies. So we've yet to see a good team movie and how that would happen or how they come in.
Yeah, I feel like First Class was like a good go at that, but it just neglected so many of the characters people want to see. And maybe I'm just like putting that into my own age group versus who the actual audience for that movie was. But you, like you say, you don't see that type of story for the early 2000 movies. You know what I'm saying? Like none of these characters have that kind of coming of age, coming together type story.
I wonder how we know what Marvel's going to do somewhat in the future. We kind of know what Sony's going to do in the future. How wild do you think they would get with this stuff? Do you think they're going to be like, Spider-Man is just going to be a hit no matter what. It's just printing your own money. Maybe we make Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. Maybe we make Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield and keep this multiverse thing going in their own different worlds. You can bring it all back if you really wanted to.
That's a really cool thought. I mean, that's a really cool idea. I don't know. I don't know if I believe they're willing to go there or not, but I could see it now that you bring it up. I mean, they're really investing heavily in this multiverse. Maybe, the studios have found a way to collaborate in a bigger way on, something like that. So I'm excited to see. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I mean, the only reason I would say that is because Sony and Marvel are basically still in competition, right? I mean, even though they've agreed to work together and some of this stuff has worked out, I think at the end of the day, you see a lot of tension and, backup on the creative ideas because it's not the same company, and it's because people have to like go to the negotiating table every time they want to do something like this. So if that happens, man, I'll be like blown away. I mean,
yeah, there's so much strategy that goes into both sides, what game they're playing, and I think Marvel definitely has more chips in their corner than Sony does, but I think Marvel is a little bit of a slave to Sony because of the whole Spider-Man thing. So they don't want to. They always want to take their ball away and run and go home with it, and not quite sure with Marvel. And they hold the ball, they own the ball. So it's like, what can you do? How can you get this spoiled kid to play ball? So. It's interesting dynamic, and there's a rumor that Marvel, or I guess Disney, is going to get the rights from Universal distribution for the Hulk, and so people are like, "Are we going to see World War Hulk?" That's rumor is World War Hulk, but it's like they did that in Thor Ragnarok. That's the closest thing you got to World War Hulk. Storyline. But
I mean, that was definitely something they were inspired by. So. I don't know. It's so funny that's the weirdest thing about having so many of these stories, come from studios that are divided on rights, is because they take what they can from it and turn it into something new. And it's interesting to think about if they would have the opportunity to rehash it in a different way or just a more fully fleshed out way, is in regards to the source material. And would they even do that? Would they just be like, well, we've done that and we're not going to go back? If you're looking at Fox movies, clearly the answer is, yeah, they'll do that. Like you mentioned the Phoenix Saga. I mean, I definitely don't want to see another Phoenix Saga like in my lifetime. That would be fine. Same. I don't need to see that on, you guys tried and the cartoon was the best representation of it to me.
It was like 7 or 8 episodes, it's like so far stretched.
And it's a big deal, like,
yeah.
And I guess maybe that's gives the cartoon show some, respect because they are emulating comic books more so than these shows or movies can do. But also, I mean, we can't give too many props to that show. It was,
yeah, it definitely got worse as it went on. But it was the great episodic drama, the soap opera for kids. And they did a great job of doing that and keep you coming in the next week, to watch more of it, man. That's great storytelling. It hooks you. It's a comic book, that's what comic books are. It's just, this high end drama, a fantastical world. And it's a lot of fun. I think comic books are great. They're underrated. One of my favorite forms of storytelling. It's just a weird combination of pictures and words. It's you can be quite inventive and do a lot of cool things with it. So I'm glad it's translated into the film and TV audience and bringing people in, hopefully, to the comic book world. I think so. I think they're getting hyped on who these characters are. Like there's a big Taskmaster, revival when he was going to be in the Black Widow show. People are like all about Taskmaster again since like the 80s or 90s. So it's great to see these characters introduce people and get more fandom in there. Good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to give a shout out real quick because it's getting down to the end of the stream. But this is my first venture back into the world of comics in a while.
Oh, no way.
Cool. Well, only because I probably subscribed to the Squarriors Kickstarter, God knows how long ago. But I just got it like
Please
Friday
tell us
or
about
something.
Squarriors, yeah.
This is from Devil's Due Comics, and it's written by Ashley Witter and Ash Maxzo is the artist, I assume. But, or no, I'm sorry, I probably have it backwards. Ashley, it looks like the artist, and Ash must be the writer. But, yeah, I haven't read this, I'll be honest. I mean, I haven't had a chance to even open it yet. I feel bad opening them sometimes when they're signed and bagged. But, at the same time, my context for this book is destroyed by, like, so much time between... like I say, I don't really remember ordering it. It's been that long. So
Yeah. I do have one I ordered from Matt Kins. I guess he's known for Mind Management, that comic, but he has one coming up, I believe, with Jeff Lemire, which is one of my favorite comic book writers. And so they did a collab that was a Kickstarter, and I think they're mailing out sometime soon. But yeah, I had to have ordered that like a year or two ago at least. As just dragging on, man.
Yeah, that's how those things go.
It feels like that. Yeah.
That's just how they go sometimes.
Yeah, sorry if I'm unfair and you hear this Matt Kinn or Jeff Lemire, but it feels like it's been forever, so it could be shorter. But
well, it's comic book production, but then you add in the COVID situation on top of it. I mean, hey, stuff happens.
Yeah, we want to thank our audiences at Famra. Thank you for joining over there. Our time is up on Famra. Now is a good time. It's a lot of fun if you're feeling adventurous and following us on the Famra app. Download it for free in the iTunes store or the Apple App Store. And if you need a code, if you ask for a code, use Amethyst Goat, or I think Phil has another one.
Yeah, you can use my Coral Alpaca. Hopefully nobody needs the code anymore, but let us know if you do join. And our events are always posted. As soon as you get in there in the lobby, you'll see all the different programming that we have. And
RSVP.
Yeah, make sure you RSVP. And we'll keep doing it live here too, right? I mean,
yeah, man.
As we
Absolutely.
can.
Every week. I think it's a good time, good fun. I'm not sure if you have anything coming up you want to plug.
Only thing this week is I'm still doing the Suck podcast, and I've got a new episode on Monday, and we recorded a bonus episode because we have a Patreon feed. And if you're on our Patreon, if you subscribe, you'll get an extra episode this week, which is always fun when we can do that because, Lord knows the bonus episodes get crazy. They get wild.
Yeah, I do subscribe, and I'm very excited to hear the bonus episode. They're my favorite thing to do whenever they're released midweek. And I try to catch the Monday noon stream with a new episode. I don't get it usually. I haven't caught it the last 2 or 3 because my boss happened to come in when he never comes in. He never comes in, and he happened to come in both those days. So it's like, well. There goes my fun listening experience and detraction from being bored. So check out the Suck, the SUCC, on everywhere: Spotify, Podbean, and Facebook. Streaming on there. Join the group. Suck.
It's the Suck. The Shuck. I like that. That's gonna be my next podcast about corn. Yeah,
Corn Busters. I like it.
No, it's the Suck Shame Posting, so you can share your shameful actions that deserve to help you get clout. Is kind of the idea there.
And if you're cool enough, you get an invite to the Discord. So act and behave properly, and we'll see you in there. I do have the Wednesday show coming up with Mike Harris. We're gonna watch Jack Frost, the Jack Frost horror movie from the 90s, I think, or 2000s possibly. Very terrible. And then also the Michael Keaton Jack Frost. And usually it's the show's remake, reboot, recycle, something like that, where it's the original movie and the remake. But this one, we're just joking around and watching movies with the same title that are completely different and not connected to each other in any way. So it's a fun thing. And then I believe Friday I will be talking to Daddy Doom, the female wrestler. She's a lot of fun and metalhead, and going to have a fun conversation on there, I think. Hopefully on Friday at 9 p.m. EST. So check us out on Famra. Use the code AmethystGoat if you need one. And hopefully we'll see you on Comics Explained on the YouTube channel and Famra sometime soon. Next week. Actually, what's your next one coming up? Is I think maybe on Wednesday with Mike Harris.
Nice.
So all right, cool. Thank you guys again. Thank you, Phil, for doing all this and hook us all up, and thank you once again to Famra.
All right, peace out, y'all. See you next week.